High above Earth, in the quantum-shielded observation post Sentinel-7, Commander Maya Patel watched the first ripples of disturbance in the fabric of spacetime. The readings weren't obvious. They never were. To most advanced civilizations, Earth's solar system would appear mundane, hosting what seemed to be a moderately advanced species just beginning to explore their cosmic backyard. That was exactly how humanity wanted it. Contact imminent, the station's AI announced, its voice a perfect synthesis of organic and digital tones. Unknown vessels emerging from hyperspace, bearing Mark 7-3. Maya's fingers danced across the neural interface, sending signals through Earth's quantum mesh network. Across the solar system, thousands of advanced monitoring stations shifted into passive mode, their true capabilities masked behind carefully crafted energy signatures designed to mimic primitive scanning technology. "Show me," she commanded. The observation deck's walls transformed into a vast display, revealing the emergence of 3 crystalline vessels, their hulls refracting starlight in ways that suggested technologies far beyond what Earth was supposed to possess. The ships bore the unmistakable architecture of the Archen Empire, a civilization that had spent millennia believing itself to be the peak of evolution. Identity confirmed, the AI continued. Archen Empire long-range scouts. Class. Hegemony. Capabilities. As expected, Maya allowed herself a small smile. The Archons had finally found them, right on schedule. Humanity had been preparing for this moment for over a century, ever since their quantum sensors first detected the Empire's expansion through the galaxy. While other civilizations rushed to announce their presence to the cosmos, humanity had chosen a different path. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, in the Quantum Command Center, Dr. Marcus Chen received Maya's alert. His team of biotechnology specialists had spent decades perfecting the integration of organic computing with quantum systems, an approach that made human technology virtually invisible to conventional scanning methods. "They're right where we predicted," Marcus communicated through the neural network, initiating quantum veil protocols. Across Earth and throughout the solar system, human civilization began its carefully choreographed dance of deception. Orbital habitats adjusted their energy signatures to appear as primitive space stations. The massive quantum shipyards in Jupiter's orbit phased into perfect alignment with the gas giant's magnetic field, becoming indistinguishable from natural phenomena. The true extent of human advancement disappeared behind a veil of carefully crafted mundanity. The Archen vessels moved with precision through the outer solar system, their sensors probing for signs of advanced technology. Their crystalline artificial intelligence cores processed the data with absolute confidence, finding exactly what they expected. A civilization that had barely mastered nuclear fusion, with primitive fission-powered spacecraft and basic orbital infrastructure. What they couldn't detect was the quantum mesh network analyzing their every move, mapping their capabilities, and updating Earth's defensive strategies in real time. Human technology had evolved along a completely different path than the crystalline computing systems favored by the Archons. While they pursued pure technological advancement, humanity had merged biological and quantum systems in ways that made their technology almost living in nature. "They're launching probes," Maya noted, watching as dozens of smaller crystalline objects deployed from the Archen vessels. "Standard first contact protocol for them. They'll try to access our computer networks." Marcus's response carried a hint of amusement. "Let them try. The biological firewalls are ready. They won't find anything we don't want them to see." The Archen probes entered the inner solar system, their crystalline processors attempting to interface with Earth's supposedly primitive digital networks. They encountered exactly what humanity wanted them to find: outdated computer systems, basic satellite communications, and the early stages of quantum computing research. The probe's AI cores categorized Earth as a Type 1.5 civilization, advanced enough to be interesting, but not developed enough to pose any threat to the Empire. In her observation post, Maya monitored the probe's activities through the quantum mesh. Every attempt they made to penetrate Earth's networks was met with carefully crafted resistance, making them work just hard enough to believe their superior technology was prevailing. In reality, each probe was being subtly altered by exposure to Earth's biological quantum fields, their crystalline cores unknowingly accepting changes that would ensure they reported exactly what humanity wanted the Empire to hear. First phase complete, Marcus announced through the neural network. The probes are beginning their survey of our military capabilities. This was the crucial moment. Humanity had hidden the vast majority of their defense systems behind a combination of quantum camouflage and biological stealth technology. What the Archen probes would find instead was a modest array of nuclear weapons, a small fleet of chemical rockets modified for combat, and early experiments with energy weapons. They're taking the bait, Maya confirmed, watching as the probes documented Earth's seemingly limited military power. Their AI is categorizing us as a minimal threat, recommended for standard diplomatic contact followed by cultural integration. The Archen vessels maintained their position near Saturn, their commanders likely already drafting reports to the Empire about their latest discovery. They had no way of knowing that their seemingly routine mission had just made first contact with one of the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy, one that had chosen to hide its true nature behind a veil of quantum deception. In the depths of the Pacific Command Center, Marcus initiated the final phase of their first contact protocols. Quantum-entangled messages spread through the human neural network, alerting key personnel across the solar system. The game was about to begin in earnest. "They'll be back," Maya stated, her voice carrying the weight of certainty. "And when they return, they'll think they know exactly what they're dealing with." "That's the beauty of it," Marcus replied. "They'll come expecting to find a primitive civilization eager to learn from their superior technology. Instead, they'll discover that humanity has been playing a very different game." As the Archen vessels prepared to depart, their crystalline cores processing what they believed was a complete analysis of human civilization, Earth's true defense systems remained hidden, waiting. The quantum veil had worked perfectly, and the stage was set for humanity's greatest performance. The game of galaxies had begun, and humanity was playing for keeps. 3 weeks after first contact, the Archen Empire's response arrived exactly as humanity's quantum probability engines had predicted. This time, they sent an entire fleet of advanced AI probe ships, sleek, crystalline vessels that gleamed like frozen lightning against the void of space. Dr. Marcus Chen stood in the heart of the Pacific Command Center, watching through the quantum mesh as 50 Archen vessels emerged from hyperspace near Jupiter's orbit. The probes were far more sophisticated than the initial scout ships, equipped with the Empire's most advanced scanning and analysis systems. Right on schedule, he transmitted through the neural network, initiating mirror protocol. Throughout the solar system, humanity's hybrid defense grid hummed to life. Unlike the rigid crystalline technology of the Archons, Earth's systems were a fluid blend of organic computing and quantum mechanics. Their processors were grown, not built, using engineered bacteria that could process quantum information through biological pathways. Commander Maya Patel's voice resonated through the quantum mesh from Sentinel-7. The Archen probes are deploying their primary scanning array. They're looking for any signs that we detected or analyzed their previous vessels. "Let them look," Marcus replied, his fingers dancing across neural interfaces that connected directly to his central nervous system. The biological quantum camouflage is holding. They're about to get their first real taste of how humanity does things differently. The Archen probes spread out through the solar system, their crystalline AI cores processing vast amounts of data as they analyzed everything from electromagnetic emissions to gravitational fluctuations. They were searching for any sign that humanity possessed technology beyond their apparent development level. What they found instead was the mirror protocol, humanity's masterpiece of digital deception. Every scan they performed was subtly altered by contact with Earth's biological quantum field, returning data that perfectly matched the Empire's expectations of a primitive civilization. In orbit around Mars, Dr. Sarah Hayes monitored the reaction from her seemingly primitive research station. The station appeared to be a basic habitat module to the Archen scans, its true nature as an advanced quantum relay hidden behind layers of biological stealth technology. "They're starting their deep scan of our orbital infrastructure," Sarah reported through the neural network. "Their AI is attempting to penetrate our computer systems." Marcus smiled as he watched the Archen probes encounter what they thought was Earth's digital defense network. The probe's crystalline processors easily broke through the outer layers of security, finding exactly what humanity wanted them to see: desperate attempts to develop basic AI, primitive quantum computing experiments, and early efforts at neural interface technology. "They're so convinced of their superiority that they can't imagine we'd let them in on purpose," Maya observed. "Their AIs are cataloging everything they think they're stealing from our networks." The dance continued for hours as the Archen probes methodically mapped what they believed to be the full extent of human technology. Their crystalline cores processed terabytes of carefully crafted data, building a comprehensive picture of Earth's capabilities, all of it precisely engineered by humanity to tell a very specific story. Deep beneath the Antarctic ice, in another hidden command center, Dr. James Rodriguez led the counterintelligence team tracking the probe's activities. His specialists used engineered bacteria to process quantum information, creating organic computers that were completely invisible to conventional scanning methods. "The biological quantum network is getting excellent reads on their technology," James reported. "Every probe they send is giving us more data about their capabilities. Their crystalline computing architecture has significant vulnerabilities they haven't even considered." The Archen probes were particularly interested in Earth's early attempts at quantum computing. They discovered exactly what humanity wanted them to find: failed experiments, limited successes, and theoretical research that suggested humanity was centuries away from achieving true quantum supremacy. What they couldn't detect was that each probe's interaction with Earth's quantum field was subtly altering their own crystalline processors. The changes were microscopic, virtually undetectable, but they ensured that every piece of data the probes collected would reinforce the Empire's assumptions about human technological development. "Phase 2 of the Mirror Protocol is complete," Marcus announced through the neural network. "Every probe in the system has been successfully compromised. When they return to the Empire, their reports will confirm everything their leaders want to believe about us." Mina's response carried a note of satisfaction. "And what about the surprise we packed into their crystalline cores?" "Already integrated," Marcus confirmed. "When they upload their data to the Empire's central network, our biological quantum algorithms will begin mapping their entire communication system. By the time they decide to make their move, we'll know their plans before they do." The Archen probes concluded their survey after 3 days of intensive scanning and analysis. Their crystalline AI cores were satisfied that they had compiled a complete assessment of human civilization. As the probes prepared to return to Empire space, humanity's defense chiefs gathered in a secure quantum conference to review their success. "The deception is holding perfectly," Sarah reported from Mars. "The probe's final analysis categorizes Earth as a Level 2 civilization with minimal defensive capabilities. They're recommending immediate diplomatic contact followed by technological integration into the Empire." "Perfect," Marcus responded. "They'll send their diplomatic fleet next, thinking they're dealing with an eager primitive species ready to be uplifted. Instead, they're about to learn that humanity has been playing a very different game." As the Archen probes vanished into hyperspace, Earth's true defense grid remained invisible, its biological quantum processors continuing to evolve and adapt. Humanity had just passed the second test in their carefully orchestrated plan. The next phase would require even more subtle manipulation as the Empire sent its diplomats, confident in their technological superiority. The dance of deception was about to become even more intricate, and humanity was leading every step. The Archen diplomatic fleet arrived with all the pomp and ceremony, befitting what they believed was a historic moment of first contact. Their vessels, each a masterwork of crystalline engineering, took up position in high Earth orbit, their hulls catching sunlight in prismatic displays that were clearly meant to awe their primitive hosts. Admiral Sarah Hayes stood at the window of the International Space Station, its apparent crude construction masking layers of quantum biological technology. Through her neural interface, she monitored the reactions of her team as they prepared to execute the most delicate phase of humanity's plan. Remember, she transmitted through the secure quantum mesh. We're playing the part of an eager, developing civilization. Let them believe their technological superiority is absolute. The Archen's primary diplomatic vessel extended a crystalline docking tube toward the station. Through it came their delegation, led by High Ambassador Zenith, their environmental suits gleaming with technology that they clearly expected to impress their hosts. "Welcome to Earth," Sarah greeted them, using deliberately simple translation software instead of humanity's advanced universal translators. "We are honored by your presence." Zenith's crystalline faceplate became transparent, revealing features that seemed carved from living gemstone. "Greetings, children of Earth. The Archen Empire welcomes you to the greater galactic community." The delegation moved through the station, their sophisticated sensors taking in everything around them. They saw exactly what humanity wanted them to see: outdated computer terminals, crude life support systems, and the basic trappings of a civilization just beginning to reach for the stars. Deep beneath the Pacific, Dr. Marcus Chen monitored the Archen's every scan through the quantum mesh. "They're analyzing everything," he reported to the Defense Council, "and finding exactly what we prepared for them to find." The diplomatic meeting proceeded in the station's main conference room, where the Archens presented their standard integration proposal. Their offer was precisely what humanity's probability engines had predicted: technological uplift in exchange for Earth becoming a protectorate of the Empire. "Your civilization shows great promise," Zenith announced, his crystalline features reflecting the station's harsh lighting. "Under our guidance, you could achieve in decades what might otherwise take centuries." Sarah maintained an expression of carefully measured awe. "Your generosity overwhelms us, High Ambassador. Though I must ask, what would this integration process involve?" Through the quantum mesh, she could sense the satisfaction radiating from the Archen delegation. They were completely convinced of their position of power, never suspecting that every word, every gesture, every scan was being analyzed by humanity's hybrid technology. "The process is quite simple," Zenith explained, projecting a holographic display from his crystalline suit. "We will establish technological outposts on your world, gradually introducing advanced systems that your civilization can absorb. Your military and defensive capabilities will be integrated into our command structure, ensuring your protection." In the Antarctic Command Center, Dr. James Rodriguez watched the exchange through quantum-entangled sensors. "They're following the standard Imperial Absorption protocol," he reported. "Every move exactly as predicted." The diplomatic discussions continued for hours, with the Archens presenting increasingly impressive demonstrations of their technology. They showed off their matter manipulation capabilities, their advanced AI systems, and their mastery of quantum mechanics, all while humanity's far more sophisticated systems remained hidden behind the quantum veil. "Your mastery of crystalline technology is extraordinary," Sarah commented, playing her role perfectly. "We had theorized such applications might be possible, but to see it in action." Zenith's features shifted in what passed for a smile among his kind. "This is but a fraction of what the Empire can offer. Though I must admit, we are impressed by how quickly your species has advanced. Our preliminary surveys suggest you've achieved several breakthroughs ahead of the standard development curve." It was a probe, subtle but clear. The Archens had detected hints of humanity's capabilities that didn't quite fit their models, but their own technological arrogance prevented them from seeing the full picture. They were looking for advancement along their own technological path, never considering that humanity might have taken a completely different route. Through the quantum mesh, Marcus's voice carried a note of satisfaction. "They're trying to reconcile the anomalies in their data. Their crystalline processing systems simply can't comprehend our biological quantum hybrid approach. The diplomatic exchange continued for several days, with the Archons growing increasingly confident in their position. They presented detailed plans for Earth's integration into the Empire, never realizing that humanity was using every interaction to gather more intelligence about their systems and capabilities. As the final day of negotiations approached, Sarah prepared to deliver humanity's carefully crafted response. The quantum mesh hummed with anticipated energy as defense stations throughout the solar system remained hidden, waiting. High Ambassador, Sarah addressed Zenith in the closing ceremony. We are deeply grateful for the Empire's generous offer. We request a standard Imperial month to review the integration proposals and prepare our world for this historic transition. Zenith's crystalline features shifted in approval. Of course, we understand such decisions require careful consideration, even when the benefits are obvious. We will return in one Imperial month to begin the integration process. As the Archen delegation prepared to depart, humanity's quantum probability engines were already calculating their next moves. The diplomatic gambit had succeeded perfectly. The Empire believed they were dealing with an eager, primitive civilization ready to be absorbed into their dominion. Sarah watched the crystalline ships depart from the station's observation deck, her neural interface connecting her to the quantum mesh's vast network of analysis and prediction. And now, she transmitted to the Defense Council, we prepare for the real test. They'll be back with their integration fleet, and that's when they'll learn what humanity is truly capable of. The Archen ships vanished into hyperspace, their crystalline cores carrying volumes of data about Earth's supposed capabilities. What they didn't realize was that humanity had just completed the most elaborate deception in galactic history, and the next phase would reveal just how thoroughly they had underestimated their supposed primitive cousins. The Archen integration fleet emerged from hyperspace in waves, their crystalline ships filling Earth's orbital space with prismatic light. 5,000 vessels strong, it was a force meant to overwhelm any potential resistance while demonstrating the Empire's absolute technological superiority. Their sensors swept the solar system, expecting to find a primitive civilization awaiting their arrival. Instead, they found nothing. In the Antarctic Command Center, Dr. Marcus Chen allowed himself a small smile as he monitored the Archon's confusion through the quantum mesh. Phase 1 of Revelation Protocol is active, he announced to the Defense Council. Their sensors are being blocked by the quantum darkness field. Throughout the solar system, humanity's true defensive grid had shifted into active mode. Decades of biological quantum engineering had created a technology that didn't just hide from detection. It actively absorbed and redirected scanning attempts, making entire regions of space appear empty. Admiral Sarah Hayes stood on the bridge of the ESS Prometheus, a vessel that until now had remained completely hidden from Imperial detection. Unlike the crystalline architecture of Archen ships, the Prometheus was almost alive, its hull composed of engineered biomatter that could process quantum information through every molecule. They're attempting to establish communication with Earth's surface, Sarah reported, watching through quantum-entangled sensors as the Archen fleet's signals met only silence. Initiating Phase 2, High Admiral Vertex of the Archen Empire stood on his flagship's command deck, his crystalline features showing the first signs of concern. Where there had been a primitive but promising civilization just 1 month ago, there was now only emptiness. His fleet's most sophisticated scanning systems could detect no signs of the orbital stations, defense satellites, or even the basic communication networks they had documented. Launch full-spectrum probe deployment, Vertex commanded, his voice carrying through the crystalline ship's shared consciousness. Find out what's happening down there. The Archen fleet released thousands of probe drones, their crystalline forms spreading out across Earth's orbit. As they approached the atmosphere, humanity's defense grid began its next phase of revelation. Commander Maya Patel, now stationed aboard one of Earth's quantum battleships, transmitted through the neural network. The probes are entering the biological quantum field. Initiating controlled disclosure protocols. The first sign that something was wrong came when several probe drones simply vanished. Not destroyed. There was no debris, no energy signature, nothing to suggest weapons fire. They simply ceased to exist, absorbed completely by humanity's quantum field technology. Impossible, Vertex muttered, watching as more probes disappeared. His fleet's sensors were detecting energy patterns that defied the Empire's understanding of physics. The empty space around Earth was beginning to ripple with quantum distortions that their crystalline technology couldn't process. In the Pacific Command Center, Dr. James Rodriguez monitored the Archen's growing confusion. Their crystalline AI cores are attempting to compensate for the quantum field effects. They still can't comprehend what they're seeing. Suddenly, the space around the Archen fleet came alive with light. Thousands of human vessels phased into visibility, their bioquantum hulls shifting from perfect stealth to reveal forms that seemed to defy the conventional laws of physics. These weren't the crude ships the Empire had expected. These were vessels that represented the true pinnacle of human innovation. "Attention Archen Integration Fleet." Sarah's voice transmitted across all frequencies, using the Empire's own communication protocols. "You are currently surrounded by the Earth Defense Force. Your sensors are now receiving a small demonstration of our actual technological capabilities. Through the quantum mesh, humanity's defense grid began systematically dismantling the illusion they had maintained for so long." The Archons watched in disbelief as their scans revealed layer after layer of technology they had never imagined possible. Orbital rings of quantum processors, grown from engineered bacteria, surrounded the planet. Vast networks of biological computers processed information through quantum entanglement, operating on principles that made the Empire's crystalline systems look primitive by comparison. Earth's cities shimmered into view, revealing architecture that seamlessly blended organic and technological elements. This is impossible," Vertex transmitted, his crystalline features rigid with shock. "Our surveys confirmed your technological level. We monitored your development for months." "You monitored exactly what we wanted you to monitor," Sarah replied, her voice carrying a hint of satisfaction. "Your Empire's greatest weakness is your certainty that you represent the peak of technological evolution. You never consider that another civilization might take a completely different path." To demonstrate her point, several human ships activated their primary systems. The bioquantum hulls rippled with energy patterns that the Archen sensors couldn't even classify. Their crystalline computers tried desperately to analyze the technology they were witnessing, but the principles behind it were so far removed from their understanding that their systems began to crash. Marcus's voice carried through the quantum mesh. "Their fleet's shared consciousness is starting to fragment. They can't process what they're seeing. Their entire technological paradigm is being challenged." The Archen fleet's formation began to waver as their commanders struggled to comprehend the situation. Their superior position had evaporated in moments, replaced by the realization that they were facing a civilization far more advanced than they had imagined possible. "Your Empire bases its technology on crystalline computing and quantum manipulation," Sarah continued, her ships maintaining their position around the Archen fleet. "We chose a different route. Our computers are grown, not built. Our quantum systems are biological, not mechanical. Everything you think you know about technological advancement is based on a single path. We explored thousands." As if to emphasize her point, several Earth defense platforms activated their primary systems. The space around the Archen fleet came alive with quantum fields that their sensors couldn't even detect, let alone understand. Their ships' crystalline cores began experiencing cascading failures as they encountered phenomena that defied their fundamental understanding of physics. High Admiral Vertex, watching his mighty fleet become effectively neutralized without a single shot being fired, made the only decision he could. "Stand down all aggressive systems," he commanded through the fleet's fragmenting network. "Initiate diplomatic protocols." Sarah's response carried both authority and reassurance. "A wise decision, High Admiral." Now, shall we discuss the future relationship between Earth and the Empire as equals? We have much to teach each other, provided you're willing to learn. The integration fleet that had arrived to absorb a primitive civilization now found itself being integrated into a new understanding of what was possible. Humanity's great deception had served its purpose, and a new chapter in galactic history was about to begin. In the 3 months following humanity's revelation of their true capabilities, the galaxy's political landscape underwent a transformation more profound than any in the last millennium. The Great Hall of Earth's Quantum Assembly in Geneva hummed with biological processors as representatives from both humanity and the Archen Empire gathered for historic negotiations. Admiral Sarah Hayes stood before the assembled delegates, her neural interface connecting her to the quantum mesh that now extended far beyond Earth's solar system. The Archen representatives, led by High Admiral Vertex, sat in specially designed chambers that interfaced their crystalline biology with Earth's hybrid systems. The age of deception is over, Sarah addressed the gathering. Now we begin the age of synthesis. In orbit, the combined fleets of Earth and the Empire conducted joint exercises, each learning from the other's technological approach. The Archen's crystalline ships now carried biological quantum processors, while human vessels experimented with crystalline integration into their living hulls. Dr. Marcus Chen, working from his new position as head of the Joint Technological Exchange Initiative, monitored the progression through the quantum mesh. The Archens are adapting faster than we anticipated, he reported to the assembly. Their crystalline systems are proving remarkably compatible with our biological quantum architecture. High Admiral Vertex's crystalline features shifted in what had become a recognizable expression of wonder. For millennia, the Empire believed we had reached the pinnacle of technological evolution. We based everything on the perfection of crystalline computing. Yet in just 3 months, the integration of human biological quantum systems has advanced our understanding beyond what we achieved in centuries. The assembly hall's displays showed real-time data from across the galaxy. The news of humanity's technological leap had spread, causing a fundamental shift in how civilizations approach development. The notion that there was a single path to advancement had been shattered, replaced by an explosion of experimental technologies combining different approaches. Commander Maya Patel, now serving as the liaison between Earth's defense forces and the Archen fleet, presented the latest data through the quantum mesh. We're seeing unprecedented levels of innovation throughout known space. The release of our biological quantum principles has sparked what some are calling a technological renaissance. The implications extended far beyond military applications. Human medical technology, based on the same biological quantum principles that had hidden their advancement, was transforming treatment throughout the Empire. Archen crystalline technology, integrated with human biological systems, was opening new frontiers in space exploration and energy production. But perhaps most significantly, Dr. James Rodriguez added from his position at the Antarctic Research Center, we're seeing the emergence of entirely new technological paradigms. The combination of our approaches is creating possibilities neither of our civilizations imagined alone. The assembly watched as holographic displays showed the first fruits of this collaboration. In orbital shipyards around Jupiter, massive vessels were taking shape, their hulls a seamless blend of crystalline and biological technology. These ships could think, adapt, and evolve in ways that redefined what was possible in space travel. The greatest barrier to advancement, Sarah continued, was never technological. It was conceptual. The Empire believed they had found the one true path to technological supremacy. We chose to hide our advancement precisely because we knew that true evolution requires diversity of approach. Through the quantum mesh, reports came in from across Earth's sphere of influence. The biological quantum network that had once hidden humanity's capabilities now served as the foundation for a new kind of galactic communication. Information flowed not just through traditional channels, but through a living network that spanned the stars. High Admiral Vertex rose to address the assembly, his crystalline form now augmented with subtle biological quantum interfaces. The Empire's greatest failing was our certainty. We saw our path as the only path, our evolution as the perfect evolution. Humanity showed us that true advancement comes not from perfecting a single approach, but from embracing infinite possibility. The assembly hall's biological processors hummed as they processed data from throughout known space. The revelation of humanity's technological path had sparked a chain reaction of innovation. Civilizations that had modeled themselves on the Empire's crystalline technology were now exploring hybrid approaches, combining different technological philosophies in ways that created exponential advancement. But perhaps the most profound change, Sarah observed, isn't technological at all. It's philosophical. The galaxy is beginning to understand that there is no single path to the future. Evolution, whether biological or technological, requires diversity, adaptation, and synthesis. As if to emphasize her point, the quantum mesh displayed images from across Earth's territory. Archen scientists worked alongside human researchers, their different approaches complementing each other in ways that produced breakthrough after breakthrough. The rigid hierarchy of the Empire was being transformed by contact with humanity's more fluid, adaptive approach. "We stand at the edge of a new age," Marcus announced to the assembly. "Not an age of human dominance or imperial rule, but an age of infinite possibility. The question is no longer which path is superior, but how many paths we can explore together." The gathering concluded with the signing of the Synthesis Accords, a document that formalized the new relationship between humanity and the Empire. But more than a political agreement, it represented a fundamental shift in how civilizations approached advancement. In the depths of space, the combined fleets of Earth and the Empire prepared for their first joint long-range expedition. Their mission was no longer conquest or dominance, but exploration and discovery. The ships, living crystals powered by biological quantum cores, represented the first steps into this new age. As Sarah watched the fleet prepare for departure, she reflected on how far they had come. Humanity's great deception had served its purpose, not by establishing dominance, but by proving that true power came from diversity of thought and approach. "We hid our advancement not out of fear," she transmitted through the quantum mesh to all ships, human and Archen alike, but because we knew the galaxy wasn't ready for the truth, that the future belongs not to those who perfect a single path, but to those who dare to explore them all. The combined fleet activated their hybrid drives, their hulls shimmering with possibilities that neither humanity nor the Empire had imagined possible just months before. As they vanished into hyperspace, they carried with them the promise of an evolution without end, a future limited only by imagination itself. The silent edge had been crossed, and the age of synthesis had begun.